The Oval Test saw the conclusion of a brilliant 2-2 series result that benefited both England and India in a way. But one comment that Ben Stokes made in the aftermath of Manchester has caught up with the captain in Oval. Because Ravichandran Ashwin in his Ash Ki Baat YouTube program, he mentioned that karma really hits you hard. It was on injury substitutes. A player suffered an external injury during the course of the game. You needed to have some kind of a substitute in that. Ben Stokes was against it. And now Ashwin has responded by saying, what you sow is what you reap. I am a big fan of Stokes' cricketing abilities and his attitude. But he can think and then reply. All I am saying is show a little empathy for the other team, because the comment that Ben Stokes made often reflected in the fact that maybe it reeked of arrogance, maybe it lacked empathy. Because when Rishabh Pant got injured in Manchester, there was a talk that, oh, there should be substitutes allowed. But at that time, Ben Stokes mentioned, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that there is a conversation around an injury replacement. There are far too many loopholes in this particular bit. It is the use of this word ridiculous that has really gotten Ashwin mad. Because Ashwin has stated, show empathy. Before you use the term ridiculous and joke, you need to at least ensure that there is some empathy. A player didn't get injured on purpose. Stokes did emphasize that, yes, I understand the concussion sub-rule where player welfare is important. But this, far too many loopholes. So that is why Ashwin is responding to this particular comment after what happened at the Oval. And Ashwin cited the example of Chris Woakes, where he stated, Chris Woakes walked in with his shoulder tucked inside his sweater. He was ready to give his life to win the game for his team, and he almost did it too. Chris Woakes walking out for that one moment in Oval was really a heroic bit. Rishabh Pant walking out with a fractured foot in Manchester was also heroic. Two teams trying to up the showmanship in that particular instance. Stokes was right in the ground in stating that, okay, I don't want an injury substitute, because how will you determine an injury? An MRI scan is attached and then you get another player replaced in. Who is right in this whole debate? Is Ashwin right in criticizing Stokes? Maybe yes. Maybe. Because it is after all player welfare that we are talking about. And should it extend beyond concussion rules? That is a thing. But let me be very honest. In India, this whole discussion has come out because an Indian player got injured, and that is why you are fanning the flames. If an Australian or a West Indies or a Sri Lankan or a South African guy had gotten injured, they would be saying, how can you go against the spirit of the game? This is the problem. In the concussion sub, India used 2-3 loopholes to ensure that they got the concussion sub that they wanted. Harshit Rana, Shivam Dube, Kuldeep Yadav, Ravindra Jadeja, these were the instances when you look at Yuzi Chahal and Ravindra Jadeja. How on earth was that like to like? Shivam Dube, Harshit Rana. How was that like to like? Same in an injury situation, what is the guarantee that no team will exploit a particular loophole? This is where I think the ICC needs to be very, very formal with the rules. They have to be crystal clear with no loophole. But we have seen with laws, a loophole can emerge. Empathy or practicality? Whose side are you on? You can write to us in the comments below. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.